Welcome. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about guiding children with special needs. There are many types of special needs. Some children have communication needs. Communication needs usually fall into three categories: hearing, speech, and language problems. Visual, physical, and learning disabilities and chronic health problems are other types of special needs. Gifted children also have special needs. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about guiding children with special needs. The Individual with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, is a law that requires that a free, appropriate public education is provided to eligible children with disabilities. If a child is younger than 3 years old is diagnosed with a developmental delay, an Individualized Family Service Plan, or IFSP, is created. An IFSP focuses on the family's and the child's current status, strengths, resources, and prescribed support services. Goals and plans for transitions are included. If a child is older than 3 when diagnosed with a developmental delay, an Individualized Education Plan, or IEP, is created. The purpose of an IEP is to ensure that each child receives an appropriate education. These plans are written as goals that are tied to state standards, and plans are created as a team effort that include parents. Since federal law first mandated including children with special needs in classrooms, teachers' roles have expanded. Now teachers' roles in guiding children with special needs include taking part in identifying children with special needs, working with resource people to design individual programs, teaching children who have special needs and children without disabilities in the same classroom, sharing information with parents, and making suggestions for referrals, basing program decisions on input from several resources, including parents, other professionals, and personal observations, and encouraging parents to participate in their children's education. To fulfill these roles as a teacher, you will need to learn how to identify children with special needs and to make referrals. Early identification of special needs is the key to promoting successful development in children. Children whose special needs are not identified early may experience years of failure and poor self-concept that can compound the disability. Identifying special needs requires a strong child development background. Identification involves recognizing when a child is lagging in reaching a milestone and observing the child closely and making careful notes. You may also use developmental screenings to assist gathering data. After you have confirmed your findings that a problem exists, you need to speak to your director as to what to do next. Teachers are not doctors and cannot diagnose or label a child. Eventually, you will have a parent conference where you can share your observations and direct them to the appropriate service. Your role as a teacher is to help them understand their child's needs for treatment. Once this has been done, you can direct parents to attain a diagnosis. This is called a referral. In both the identification and the referral process, and in the process that will follow, you will need to develop a basic understanding of the learning needs of which children with hearing, visual, speech, physical, learning, behavioral, and health disabilities. Understanding these needs will help guide you to helping such children. In this chapter, you will be learning about identifying and supporting children with hearing impairments, communication disorders, visual impairments, physical disabilities, health conditions, intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, behavioral disorders, autism spectrum disorder, and giftedness. Children with hearing impairments experience problems in one or more parts of the ear. Hearing impairments prevent children from hearing adequately and are one of the most common congenital disabilities. Most states mandate newborn hearing screenings. A child who is hearing impaired can often be identified by a lack of vocabulary and overall delays in speech and grammar. A child's hearing impairment may range from mild to profound. When determining the extent of a child's hearing loss, professionals will often administer a hearing threshold test. The test will reveal the softest sound a child is able to hear at different frequencies. If you have children with hearing impairments in your classroom, you will have to modify your curriculum and interactions with the children. When approaching a child with a hearing impairment, get down to the child's eye level, then get the attention of the child before speaking. Visual skills are important for children who are hearing impaired, since finely tuned visual skills help compensate for lack of hearing. Communication needs are the most common type of special needs. Communication impacts all areas of child development. Communication disorders are conditions that inhibit children's abilities to communicate with adults and with each other. When you have children with communication disorders in your classroom, you must identify the problem causing the disorder before you can alter a program. Informal observations are the most common method used to identify communication problems. Communication disorders can fall into many categories. Many disorders are speech impairments, which means they interfere with specific sounds or sound blends. These impairments result in sounds that are missing, inappropriate, or irregular. Types of communication disorders and speech impairments include articulation problems, voice disorders, and stuttering. The term visual impairment refers to any eye or nerve problem that prevents people from seeing normally. Physically, children with visual impairments are similar to children with normal visions. However, this disability can limit children's motor abilities as they take part in some physical activities. Early identification of a visual impairment is important. Many early learning centers recruit a professional to conduct a visual screening on children each year. Children who appear to have limited vision are referred for a complete exam by an eye specialist. Many types of visual impairments exist in children. Knowing the types of impairments can help you identify and understand children's vision problems. Visual impairments in children include amblyopia, glaucoma, nearsightedness, farsightedness, color deficiency, and other uncorrectable conditions. You may need to make changes in your classroom depending on the visual needs of the children. Most preschool children can crawl, walk, run, climb, and move their bodies in different ways. A child with physical impairments, however, may have a limited range of motion. Due to this limitation, their experiences may vary from those of their peers. Physical disabilities are fairly easy to identify since they are often observable or result in observable changes in behavior. The surest way to identify a physical disability is to know about the physical disabilities common in young children. Children who are physically impaired are grouped based on their abilities. Physical disabilities are classified as severe, moderate, or mild. Children with severe impairments cannot usually move independently. Children with moderate impairments can do more for themselves, but they still require much help from staff members. Children with mild physical impairments can often do what most other children do. Many types of physical disabilities affect young children. Some that you may encounter include cerebral palsy, spina bifida, muscular dystrophy, and amputation. Although it is difficult for some, movement is important for all children. As a result, they need more time and energy to do fine and gross motor tasks. You may also have to make some adjustments to your classroom and facility. Not all physical problems that affect children are physical disabilities. Some children have chronic health needs. A chronic health need is an illness that persists over a period of time. Children with health impairments often have cycles of good and poor health. Since health needs are the most common type of special needs, you should be aware of a variety of these disorders, including allergies, arthritis, asthma, cystic fibrosis, diabetes, epilepsy, hemophilia, and leukemia. The term intellectual disability or cognitive disability describes a condition that causes intellectual functioning to fall significantly below developmental milestones. Intellectual disabilities may not have a specific cause, or they may be caused by a genetic or chromosomal disorder. Down syndrome is the most common cause of learning disorders in young children. People with this condition may have other physical health problems, such as heart defects, immune disorders, obesity, and sleep apnea. Children with intellectual disabilities need more direct teaching techniques. Modeling and demonstrating tasks for these children are important. Children who have learning disabilities are present in almost every classroom. Even though their disabilities can be hard to define, generally, a learning disability refers to a problem with one or more basic skills of learning. However, children with learning disabilities usually have average to above average intellectual functioning. Children with learning disabilities model some common traits. They have delays in meeting developmental milestones. They may have trouble following directions or have poor memory skills. They tend to like to be in constant motion and have short attention spans. A behavioral disorder is a condition that affects an individual's social, emotional, and cognitive functions. These challenges include attention deficit disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, describes a set of developmental delays and disorders. It is a complex disorder that may cause social, emotional, behavioral, and communication disabilities. Autism is a spectrum disorder. This means that people with the disorder may have a wide range of symptoms ranging from mild, moderate, or severe. Each child with ASD is unique. Working with children who have ASD can be challenging at times. Some children with ASD have exceptional abilities in music, visual, and academic skills. Others may experience significant disability. When working with children who have ASD, ensure consistency in both classroom routines and the environment. When interacting with children with ASD, also use simple and direct speech. The classroom focus should be on promoting language, appropriate behaviors, and interactions with others. Forming a partnership with the child's family and other professionals is also important. Giftedness can be defined in many ways. Children are considered gifted when they excel in one or more areas of development. People who are gifted have exceptional skills in general intellectual ability, creative and productive thinking, leadership ability, physical agility, specific academic aptitudes such as math or science, and visual or performing arts. Identifying children who are gifted is difficult. No single test, checklist, or observation points out all types of giftedness. The needs of a preschool child who is gifted can be met by including acceleration and enrichment in the program. In many cases, children with special needs learn through inclusion. Inclusion takes many forms, so a single definition does not exist. Inclusion involves integrating children with special needs in natural settings. This process allows children to learn in a minimally restrictive environment. All children gain skills by interacting with one another, and in this type of environment, children with disabilities can learn from those children without disabilities and vice versa. Inclusionary classrooms are frequently team taught by a regular and special ed teachers. When including children with special needs, develop a few simple rules for classroom behavior. Stress to the children that the child with special needs should be encouraged to be independent. Young children may want to be overly helpful, and this type of behavior can cause dependence. As a teacher, your attitude towards a child with special needs will set the classroom tone. You can become more comfortable by studying the disorder or illness, having the family come for a classroom visit before starting school, and having open communication with the family. Now let us review what we've learned. All children, including those with special needs, are entitled by law to an appropriate education. As a result, you may have children with special needs in your center. Children with special needs require individualized education plans. As a teacher, you will need to know how to identify a child with special needs. You must work to provide the child with the most effective education possible. Teachers must be able to accommodate special needs of children with hearing, speaking, language, vision, physical health, intellectual, and behavioral disorders. Teachers must also be able to identify and meet the needs of children who are gifted. All of these children must be integrated into a typical program. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learned all about guiding children with special needs. See you next time.